Hi YouTube, my name is Matt and I want to create a number of videos to talk about my partial Achilles rupture, which happened for me on the 12th of May 2022. Just a little bit of history about me. I was aware of some kind of little issue with my Achilles for more than 10 years now, although I had scans that were inconclusive. If I ran my fingers down my tendon, I could feel a tiny little sort of flappy bit, which for me sort of indicates some sort of tendinopathy or some sort of issue that I've had for a while there. And unfortunately, on the 12th of May, ironically, as I wanted to get back into health and fitness and play more tennis again after a 5-year break, um, I lasted a couple of club sessions, and on the 12th of May, um, I felt a snap in my Achilles. Went down on the ground, knew straight away it was the Achilles. Um, and there you are. What I should have done, which I'd recommend if that happens to you, go straight to A&E, straight to A&E, and they should see you fairly quickly, I think, with that sort of an injury. Um, I did wait the next day, went to a medical centre. They did a Thompson test, which was positive, so they put my leg in a cast. And about a week later, I went to hospital. They took me out of the cast, and I was assessed by a doctor. I had an ultrasound as well, um, and that was pretty painful. They're moving the foot around a lot. Um, there was still tendon attached. She couldn't see a gap, which I guess is good news. So there wasn't a gap, which suggests to me that the snap that I felt was part of the outside of the tendon, possibly where I had that issue with tendinopathy or whatever, that just snapped away from the outside. So she said it was very angry, wasn't happy. So they put me straight into a Vacoped boot at a 30-degree angle. Gave me a big box of Clexane injections for blood thinning to stop DVTs, deep vein thrombosis. Um, Now I'll cover as much as I can and try to make these videos succinct, but they might be fairly lengthy. But anyway, grab a cup of tea, sit yourself down, make yourself comfortable. The caveat with all of these videos is basically that I'm not a medical professional. These are my personal experiences. So um, always seek the advice of a medical professional before you attempt to undertake anything that I recommend here. These are my personal experiences, and they may not be right. So that out of the way, it's going to talk about the first kind of problem I had really. I have anxiety, um, and also anxiety about needles. So the prospect of injecting my stomach wasn't great. The first one was the worst. My heart was pounding. I wasn't happy about it. Managed to do it. My advice, if you do suffer from that, get some help from somebody. What I found that did help me was to take my time. Always inject at the same time every day. Get used to that regular schedule of injecting. Don't inject yourself in the morning and then the next day in the evening. Stick to the same time. Always read the instructions that come with the various medications that you have. If that's Clexane, read the instructions. Um, So make sure you read that about how to actually inject yourself properly. 90-degree angle, pinch the skin on your stomach. My best advice, I think, really is take your time, rest the needle on your skin very slowly. Don't just jab it in. Rest it very slowly and Deep breath and very slowly apply pressure. And it might take minutes, it might take a minute or so. And then on a good day, you'll slowly, and then you'll feel slowly it'll go in. And sometimes on a good day, it goes in nice and easy and everything's good. On a bad day, um, you might find it's just not going in how you want to. You're not happy. If it's making you anxious, get rid of that needle. Get rid of it, discard it, start again in another area with a fresh needle. So anyway, that's my advice on injecting yourself. What else did I find? I was scouring the web, looking at great YouTube journal experiences from other people. Just be mindful that um, some of them, a lot of them, back in time, they might be using different technology to you, different protocols, and not everybody's the same at all. You may see a video and somebody's up walking around after 4 weeks. It's not necessarily going to be you. So what I would say is listen to your body above all. What I found was that um, I had an appointment for a boot adjustment, and it was before the 2 week period. So I'd been on the 30-degree angle less than 2 weeks by about 2 or 3 days. They showed me how to lower the angle to 20 degrees. It was lowered. Unfortunately, the medical professional specialist had to fly away very quickly, so they didn't even look at my leg, which I was kind of hoping they would do, because there's a lot of anxiety about has the tendon reattached itself and all that, those sorts of questions. So anyway, the angle's reduced. I was kind of okay for about 3 days, trying to put more weight on the bad leg. But after about 3 days, I had really intense pain in the Achilles, and my left ankle swelled up. Um, and I wasn't sure what to do. I took the weight off in the end. It was so painful. I had to hop, without putting any weight on it. Um, and I did that for a little while, elevating the leg a lot. I should have put ice on it, actually, since I've learnt that. I should have put ice on the swelling for about 10 minutes for, 2 or 3 times a day. So I should have done that, which I didn't, and I've learnt that since. So I was advised to put the angle back to 30 degrees for 3 or 4 days and then try again. So what I did was, after that time, I popped the ankle down by 5%. Did that for about a day, see how I was, and then I walked down to the street for the first time. And then the next day, I popped the angle to where it was supposed to be on schedule, to 20 degrees, and I've been walking around for about 2 or 3 days now with that angle. I've kind of been okay. I've always been elevating the leg, actually. That's something I've been doing. Other thing I've sort of been forced to do a little bit is to loosen the straps at the front, because it was really rubbing against my metatarsal. I had a sore. My big toe went numb. My side of my foot all went numb. So I wasn't happy about that feeling. It wasn't very nice. So I loosened the, whether that's right or not, again, maybe totally wrong. But I wasn't comfortable at all with that. And I kind of figured, well, if I keep the leg at the right angle and not move, be very careful, it should be okay. Fingers crossed. So anyway, I'm at the start of week 5 pretty much. And on my birthday, 13th of June, I'm supposed to lower the angle another 10% to 10% from 20. So I've decided I'm not going to do that because the leg, I think, has been kind of shocked. So I'm going to think about putting it down by 5% on the 13th. See how I go on 15% angle. And then fingers crossed if I can do a week at that. We'll see how I go. Then maybe take it to that full 10%. But I'm sort of thinking that the schedule is not out the window, but I'm being mindful to listen to my body, watch out for swelling and intense pain. because if you're in intense pain, you're not going to sleep at all, really much, um, and that's actually a huge issue. I've had insomnia for years anyway, so this is like insomnia plus, and I'm not afraid to say I've been an emotional wreck, when I've had 3 days of 1 or 2 hours sleep. I have I've cried. I'm going to be honest, people, you know, don't be afraid, if you get upset, you're going to get upset, especially if you're a very active person. It's a huge shock to suddenly not be able to walk properly. And it's a long haul, of recovery, isn't it? A lot of anxiety, and there's mental health to think about, isn't there, with this? So talk to other people, friends and family. Don't be afraid to do that either. Um, Leave your comments if you've got concerns. I'm more than happy to listen. I'm, as I said, I'm not a medical professional, but I'm a human being, and we've got to go through this together, haven't we? So it's tough, and um, you're gonna have those difficult moments, but fingers crossed. You can follow the protocol reasonably well. Feel like I'm a long way from non-weight bearing. Sorry, full weight bearing. Without crutches. I can stand up without crutches, but putting my full weight, I feel is not possible at the moment. Partly as well, I think because of the angle of the boot. I think around 10% it might be more possible because the angle then is sort of coming down more to, you know, the foot level, if you like. But I don't feel sort of comfortable at the moment, so I'm not going to. I'm not going to try yet. I'm going to take my time, and it might be that I've got to keep the boot on a bit longer than I'd like. Supposed to be able to sleep without the boot and stop the injections on the 27th, but um, if I'm not ready, I don't feel ready for that. I'm not going to do that. So that would be my advice. But once again, follow the advice of a medical professional if you can get that advice. I've found it very hard to speak to anybody about it, to be honest. Um, I can understand why with the NHS and the busyness and everything surrounding that. So I have kept in mind the option to go private, and I kind of decided that if I started getting a lot of swelling again with the ankle and a load of humongous pain, that at that point I was going to seek private advice just to get the leg checked over. So it's like that as to whether I will at the moment. I'm kind of seeing how I'm going to go with 20-degree angle for a while, and hopefully, fingers crossed, the tendon has reattached itself by this time, and we'll see how we go. What else can I cram into this video? So there are some really useful things you can buy. One of the top ones I'd recommend is the Even Up. Type that into Amazon. I'll put it into a link at the bottom. Even Up to put on your good leg shoe, because otherwise there's an imbalance. One leg is going to be a lot higher than the other. So the Even Up will take you not exactly the same, but getting there. So that will help you when you're on the crutches. So Even Up, definitely. Some people have had scooters and things like that. And okay, if you can afford that, um, it will give you some more freedom to get out and about, maybe. But I did find a lot of discomfort, um, not pleasant. You've got to go to the toilet. I don't have a toilet on the top floor, so use your imagination. Um, yeah, so it is very difficult going to the toilet with one leg. That's all I'm going to say, really. But at a certain angle, like that, with the leg coming behind, was giving me a lot of discomfort. So I'd imagine that the scooter or whatever it is probably would have given me some discomfort. So I didn't go down that path, but some people really like that. So there's scooters and things like that. You might be able to buy more comfortable crutches. I've kind of suffered. The palm of my hands have been quite sore with the crutches they give you in the hospital, so there might be alternatives you can get. What else? Um, just trying to think now. What else have I? I'm sure there was something else that I bought that helped me out. Um, yeah, maybe it'll come to me. I mean, I've been putting arnica cream on the bruising on my foot as well to try and treat that. I started moving because your foot's at that angle, so I've put it up ever so slightly at the moment in the last couple of days, ever so slightly, and then down, curling the toes, almost indiscernible movement up and then down. Some people do that every hour for 5 minutes. Again, seek the advice of a medical professional before you do anything like that. Certainly don't go past neutral. That's a real no-no. You don't want to stretch your Achilles, and if you've got any fears about that or anxiety, don't move your foot at all. Keep it as it is. Eventually, the angle of the foot in the Vacoped boot, if you're in that, is going to kind of take your foot slowly up anyway. Um, and so, I've been walking around a bit more, but not extensively. I just don't want to push it really at the moment. And there you are. What else? What else could I say about this horrible injury? Um, yeah, just trying to think really. I can't really do anything other than sleep on my back, which is quite uncomfortable. But I have put lots and lots of pillows in my bed. I've put pillows underneath, a soft pillow underneath my bad leg with the boot. You can take the bottom bit off the Vacoped boot off while you sleep. Um, and so, what else? Yeah, I've put pillows beside the leg as well to give more support beside. Um, and that's it. I've sometimes on a good day, I've got 4 hours, 5 hours sleep if I'm lucky. It is very tiring though. I've had to keep working unfortunately as well throughout this as a online trainer, which I found difficult. Um, as a self-employed person, which is tricky. And that's kind of where I am at the moment. And it might help you guys as well to keep a daily diary. Excuse me. I've kept a daily diary of my progress and what's happened in that day. And I think that's useful because it will help you can kind of recap if you want to offer some advice to other people of your experience, for example. But it does help me as well, even on the bad days. Just pour your heart out about how you feel. Use that to kind of log what's happened, and also the good days as well. There will be some better days, definitely, hopefully. But listen to your body as well. Don't be hugely prescriptive about that protocol and procedure they give you. It's not necessarily going to match with your expectations. This can, depend on your age, your fitness before you had the injury, and all kinds of different factors as well, and the severity of what's happened to you, if it's a partial or if it's a full rupture, for example. So at this point, week 5, I've not yet got out and walked without the boot. I've seen some videos, a guy in Australia, he was walking after week 5, but he's younger than me. But I saw another video of a young lady who looked very, very fit indeed. She wasn't walking at week 5. So it's going to be different depending on you as a person. Um, so we'll see. I wish you all the very best with this horrible injury. Please leave a comment about your own personal experience. Any other tips and help and advice that you can offer as well. Constructive criticism, as long as it's constructive, but we're all basically in the same boat here. You know, let's help each other, let's support each other. Let's do the best we can. I'll give you links to stuff that I think has helped me. Um, Post stuff that you think's helped you through this journey. Give your experiences from all over the world, whatever that might be. And let's help each other through this. You know, it's kind of horrible. I sort of feel like I'm halfway there, and then in maybe another month, I might be walking. But I'm gonna be very, very careful about this. I'm a little bit concerned about my other leg as well. There's a lot of pressure on the other leg, the good leg. Um, and at this moment in time, I feel like I'm retired from tennis finally, because I don't want to go through this again. A lot of people, especially if you're younger, you want to get back into sport. I totally understand that. But I do hear stories that people rupture their other legs um, as well, unfortunately. But so you've got to be prepared to think about that. Um, and then hopefully in a few weeks' time, I can start to think about physiotherapy. We'll see how we go. Anyway, this is a 20-minute video. It's kind of long, so I'm going to sign off for now, and I'm sure there'll be loads of stuff that I've forgotten to say. But all the best, and I wish you a speedy recovery, folks, through this.